Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 3rd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Got British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon right here. Check out our cold air mass. You can see the spin in the atmosphere here right off the Pacific Northwest. We're going to have some thunderstorm potential today, especially eastern Oregon into Idaho, maybe clipping southeast Washington and some of Montana as well. We'll go over those details, and we'll take a look at what we can expect from this system here, what kind of precipitation amounts, and we'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning, taking a look at the Doppler radar overlay. So this is the favorable area here, getting a little bit of sunshine this morning, helping to destabilize things, and it's going to kick off those strong thunderstorms. There's actually severe thunderstorm risk up right now that we'll look at here in a moment. You can see the precipitation continuing across some of western Washington. A couple lightning strikes actually occurred there. We had a couple of thunderstorms across eastern Oregon and Washington yesterday as well. You can see a couple strikes even offshore as you see all the cold air cumulus bubbling and spinning around. And now we're looking at Pendleton, Oregon, late season snow. So watch out, some of the higher terrain is going to get some snowfall. This is updated this morning. Northern Blue Mountains, Washington, and Oregon. Thursday afternoon through Saturday morning, up to a foot of snow in some of central Oregon as well. And, it doesn't take much to make things slick. So heads up for that. This little late season snow may catch some people by surprise. Now, looking at Boise, National Weather Service usually doesn't do too many graphics here, but they are aware of this thunderstorm potential today. There's severe thunderstorm potential also. And this goes between 2 and 9 p.m. And you can see Boise's right here. And there's going to be some strong storms rolling around here and possibly severe, like I mentioned. Now, taking a look at snow Friday night through Saturday, some of the Idaho Panhandle and some of western Montana as well. Pretty chilly air mass, allow extra time for safe travel. Yeah, and it's going to create some slick conditions. Now, looking at SeaTac, a nice 67 degrees yesterday, quite warm, 9 degrees off the record high, but about 10 degrees above the normal high here. And we're definitely bringing things back down here for the next few days. We have this chilly upper level trough around. Now, taking a look at the day one thunderstorm outlook. So this is for wind and for hail here across Oregon on into Idaho here. So eyes on the sky today, and you can see the general thunderstorm risk does exist for other areas here as well. Now, taking a look at day two, we do start to include some of the Oregon coast, southwest Oregon, then again for Idaho and Montana. And this is day three as the system continues to pinwheel and spin across a lot of the west coast here. Now, taking a look at the lightning flash density potential. So as we go through the day today, you can see that lightning potential across eastern Oregon into Idaho. Then we go on into tomorrow. We start to introduce that across some of southwest Oregon. And then day three as we start to kick this system out of here. Now, if we take a look here, this is the national, actually not the national, this is the weather station I've been talking about here for some time now. I have a couple of these set up at my house. I do testing with them. They're quite accurate. They're really good for the price. So where you don't have to spend, $1,500, $2,000 on a weather station. And it's great because it sends notifications to your smartphone, like lightning strikes nearby, or when it starts raining at your house, or just what the temperature is. Highly recommend that station. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. Now, looking at the European wider view of things here, this is what we're dealing with now. And this low pressure is going to be sitting right over some of the Intermountain West, spinning some wraparound moisture back across Pacific Northwest for the next few days. And then we're going to have another system that's going to try to make its way in here. It looks like you can see this ridge flattening out, kind of a zonal flow here. So another system likely coming in as we go through next week here as well. We'll look at the extended forecast at the end of the video here in a moment. Taking a look at 700 millibars, 10,000 feet. I like to show the upper levels of the atmosphere in the visual diagrams. You can see a lot of this energy headed towards California, but the entire west coast here is going to be left in this trough over the next few days before that system tries to kick out of here. Now, taking a look at some of the timing of this, as we go through the day today, there's that thunderstorm activity off for eastern Oregon and Idaho, and then we put that into motion, and you can kind of see the storm impact in California and the wraparound moisture that spins back around through Thursday night on into Friday afternoon. You can see it could be a good rainmaker here for some portions that normally don't get too much rainfall, like Idaho and eastern Oregon, some of Montana, and some of Utah, and off into western Wyoming as well, as that low is going to spin for a little bit. And then at the end of the run, you can kind of see the next system starting to bear down into western British Columbia and Vancouver Island as we go through next week, but plenty of time to worry about that one. Looking at the North American model, this is the composite reflectivity. This is what the Doppler radar may look like as we go through the day today. So we're going to scroll through here, and you can clearly see these strong storms popping up across eastern Oregon. And look at some of these potent thunderstorms here. Prolific lightning producers, no doubt today. Some big hail and some very strong winds associated with this activity. So eyes on the sky, Idaho and eastern Oregon. These are going to be fun if you like some powerful thunderstorms. And then as we go on into the next day, you can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere here through tomorrow, and then we start to impact California. Probably additional rounds of thunderstorms here with this activity as we go through Thursday afternoon. And you can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere, and it's going to try to feed some of that moisture back up into Washington, maybe getting the east slopes of the Cascades with some rainfall as well. Now, supercell composite index, as I scroll through this afternoon, you'll clearly see we have a favorable combination of some shear and some instability out here. I wouldn't even be surprised to see a brief or weak tornado report out of this here. I saw some soundings yesterday that were showing some tornado potential there. So definitely eyes on the sky today. And this is updraft helicity. One more time, we're going to look at this here. You can see where these stronger thunderstorms are planned as of the North American model this morning. Look at some of these robust storms all the way on into western Montana. Don't let your guard down there as well. So anyway, let's take a look at the temperatures. Now you can see we've definitely dropped things off from the lofty temperatures we were at yesterday. And as we go through tomorrow, Friday, we start to bounce back a little. And with that upper level low around here, there's going to be some sun breaks, and you can still get some nice weather here coming up. And you can see us bouncing back in the temperatures a little bit here as we go through next week. Then we start to warm up potentially as we go through the midweek period here. But a lot of time to watch for that. We'll be breaking that down day by day. Here's total precipitation in inches. And you notice not much for Seattle proper. Some areas got better amounts yesterday up north. And so a little bit of that convergence zone activity going on up there. But we've got some of this precipitation ongoing as we go through the next few days. And like I mentioned, some of Idaho and eastern Oregon here, some of the higher terrain, the Oregon Cascades, kind of the winners out of this, and maybe some wraparound moisture kicking back into the Washington Cascades there as well. Now, taking a look at total snow, Oregon, again, kind of the winner out of this one. I was hoping for a little bit more across the Cascades, but some did fall last night, it does look like, and mainly for the higher terrain. But as we go on in through the next few days, you can see we're not too prolific of a snow producer here, but better amounts across eastern Oregon. Oregon's just kind of been a winner here this year as far as snowfall has been concerned. Now, taking a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook through April 12th, above average across much of the west coast here, 6 to 10 day. See this below average signal starting to show up here. So I'm going to show you the European versus the GFS here in a moment. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Look at that above average signal starting to show up April 10th through 16th there. Looks like some warm conditions might be headed our way. 8 to 14 day precipitation, kind of below average signal here across the west. So we're just going to do the European actually, not the European versus the GFS, but there goes the system we're dealing with currently. And then that next system goes through early next week. And then we start to build this ridge here. And how robust is that going to come in? How much will that dry us out as we go through the end of this week? How much of that trough coming on the backside will be a player? How close will that ridge be? All good questions that we are going to try to break down here over the next few days. And you can kind of see a transient ridge there way off into the extended, but we're getting too far out in the forecast at that point. But we do have signs of some warmer weather as we go on in towards next week, the end of next week. But again, we'll break that down day by day. It can go away quickly. You can see this trough is here across southeast Alaska, so that could kind of keep a damper on things as well. But anyway, yeah, definitely eyes on the sky today, eastern Oregon, Idaho, and some of Montana. And then we're going to have this showery weather ongoing here for the next few days. But you can still get some nice periods in that time frame. When you start to get some sun breaks in there, it can feel quite nice during this time of year of early April. But yeah, then hopefully maybe we can warm up a bit again here as we go through mid-April. I always like the warm days early on in through the spring. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.